Tonight, when you finally collapse into bed and let your consciousness slip away, you are performing an act that is so dangerous, so risky, and so paradoxical that your ancestors probably thought it was a kind of death. You are lying on your back, utterly vulnerable, completely unable to move, with no awareness of the world around you, while your brain runs a complex maintenance routine that could literally kill you if something went wrong. But here is the thing. You do it every single night, and you have been doing it for at least 20 million years. The real answer, however, is not that sleep is merely rest. The real answer is that sleep is the first great compromise of human evolution, a biological trade-off so profound that it shaped the very structure of our brains, our societies, and our survival strategies. To understand why you sleep, you have to stop looking at sleep as a passive state of doing nothing, and start seeing it as an active, high-stakes negotiation between your body's need for safety and your mind's desperate need for order. If you were to travel back in time to the savannas of East Africa, roughly 3 million years ago, you would find your ancestors, the early hominins, facing a terrifying reality. They were small, they were slow, and they were soft-skinned. They lacked claws, they lacked thick hides, and they lacked the speed to outrun the great cats that ruled the night. Yet they still had to sleep. This creates an immediate evolutionary puzzle. Why would natural selection favor a trait that leaves you defenseless for a third of your life? The answer lies in a series of clever adaptations that turned a liability into a superpower. For your early human ancestors, the solution to the vulnerability of sleep was not to sleep less, but to sleep differently. Research conducted by anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherer societies, such as the Hadza people of Tanzania, has revealed something remarkable. They do not sleep in one long, continuous block like many of us do today. Instead, they practice what researchers call segmented sleep. They sleep for about 4 hours after dusk, wake up for an hour or two in the middle of the night, and then sleep again until dawn. This pattern suggests that for most of human history, the night was not a continuous void of darkness and danger, but a liminal space of quiet activity, social bonding, and creative problem-solving. But why did you evolve to need this vulnerable state at all? The leading theory comes from neuroscientist Matthew Walker, whose work at the University of California, Berkeley, has helped reframe our understanding of sleep not as downtime, but as essential brain hygiene. Walker's research demonstrates that during deep sleep, your brain essentially shrinks. The spaces between your brain cells expand, allowing cerebrospinal fluid to wash through and flush out toxic waste products that accumulate during the day, particularly a protein called beta-amyloid, which is linked to Alzheimer's disease. In other words, sleep is your brain's nightly power wash, cleaning out the metabolic trash that would otherwise clog your neural pathways and impair your thinking. Before this discovery, many people viewed sleep as a wasteful use of time, a biological tax you had to pay. But the evidence shows that without this nightly cleaning, your cognitive function declines rapidly. You become slower, less creative, and more emotionally volatile. This is why your ancestors, who spent their days navigating complex social hierarchies and hunting large game, could not afford to be groggy and impaired. They needed their brains to be sharp, and they achieved that sharpness only through the rigorous maintenance of sleep. However, there is another layer to this story, one that involves not just your brain, but your social bonds. The psychologist Matthew Johnson, along with colleagues like Jessica Insana, has explored the concept of sleep as a social activity. In your ancestral groups, sleeping together was not just about safety and numbers. It was about emotional regulation and group cohesion. When you slept near your tribe members, you were signaling trust. You were saying, "I am vulnerable, and I trust you to watch my back." This mutual vulnerability strengthened the social bonds that were critical for survival. A lone human was a dead human, but a human surrounded by a sleeping tribe had a fighting chance against the predators of the night. This social dimension of sleep also explains why you feel so different when you are sleep-deprived. When you haven't slept enough, your emotional reactivity spikes. Studies show that sleep deprivation amplifies the activity in your amygdala, the brain's fear and emotion center, by up to 60%. This means that a minor frustration, like someone cutting you off in traffic, can feel like a life-threatening attack when you are tired. Your ancestors needed to keep their emotional responses calibrated because a misplaced burst of anger or fear could get you killed or exiled from the group. Sleep was the tool that kept your emotions in check, allowing you to navigate the delicate social landscape of your tribe. But the story of sleep does not end with cleaning and social bonding. It also involves the consolidation of memory. During REM sleep, your brain replays the events of the day, sorting through memories and deciding what to keep and what to discard. This process is crucial for learning. If you want to remember how to build a fire, track prey, or navigate by the stars, you need your brain to process and store that information. Sleep is the editor of your mind, deciding what becomes part of your long-term memory and what fades away. Without it, your experiences would remain fragmented and useless, like a computer that never saves its work. So, when you lie down tonight, you are not just shutting off. You are engaging in a complex biological ritual that has been refined over millions of years. You are cleaning your brain, repairing your body, consolidating your memories, and reconnecting with the social fabric that defines you as a human. The darkness around you is not empty. It is full of the echoes of your ancestors, who learned to harness the power of the night to become the dominant species on the planet. And yet, in the modern world, we have forgotten this ancient rhythm. We have filled our nights with artificial light, screens, and stress, disrupting the very processes that keep us healthy and sane. We treat sleep as an enemy, something to be fought or minimized, rather than a partner to be embraced. But your body knows the truth. It demands sleep not as a luxury, but as a necessity. When you resist it, you are fighting against millions of years of evolutionary wisdom. The next time you feel the weight of sleep pulling you down, do not fight it. Instead, recognize it for what it is. The first gift of the night, a return to the ancient rhythm that has sustained your kind for millennia. You are not just going to sleep. You are going home, back to the cave, back to the fire, back to the tribe that watched over you in the dark so that you could face the light of day. And when you wake up, refreshed and ready, you will carry with you the memory of that night, a silent testament to the power of the first sleep.